Good afternoon, everyone, and a very warm welcome to Marge On Live. My name's Siobhan, and I'm going to be producing the session for you today. We're also joined by some student ambassadors from Marge On and some members of staff from our student support team. So today's session is on support for students with autism spectrum conditions. Okay, so that's going to be the focus today, and we're going to have a presentation first that will be followed by a Q&A. So I'm firstly just going to introduce our two student ambassadors to you. So I'm going to hand over to you first, Laura.
Oh, there we go, just make sure I'm unmuted. So my name's Laura. I'm in my third year of studying speech and language therapy, but it's a 3.5-year course, so I have got half a year to keep going and then I'll be finished.
That's great, thank you. And then over to you, Alexandra.
So my name's Alexandra and I've just finished my first year of studying speech and language therapy. And my course is just a little bit different to Laura, as it's I'm on the 3-year course.
That's brilliant, thanks Alexandra. Okay, so now we're first going to begin the presentation. So I'm now going to hand over to Howard. Over to you, Howard.
Thank you. Hello, I'm Howard. I'm a study skills tutor and also a specialist mentor in student support services. And I'm just going to run through a little bit about what DIAS does here. So at Marge On we have the Disability and Inclusion Advice Service, which is known as DIAS. We're a friendly team and part of student support. We're here to support you and be able to offer advice and guidance on managing your studies alongside your health throughout your time at university. So please do contact the DIAS team as soon as possible if you think you'll be coming to Marge On in September, or if you're already a student here returning in September, or if you're thinking of coming in next year's cohort, it's still good to contact DIAS and get the information that you might need in order to apply for the support that you might need. Getting the support in place ready for the start of any new academic year is quite important. The DIAS team do work all year round, so you can contact us over the summer. You can see the email address or the phone number on the slide in front of you, so you can just contact us and leave a message or contact us in whatever way suits you best, and we'll get back to you. Having made that initial contact, the first people you're likely to meet are our disability advisors, Anne and Nikki, who you can see on the screen. You may already recognise them from the pictures here. Anne and Nikki run appointments on a one-to-one basis with you, with all students, to discuss your needs, and amongst other things can advise you how to make a disabled student's allowance, which is what we call a DSA claim. Claiming DSA accesses funding to pay for such things as specialist support, equipment and software that you should find will make your university life easier. And Anne and Nikki can and will advise you what you need to do to make a claim for DSA, and they'll go through it with you throughout the whole process, really. So they'll tell you what evidence is needed and what happens next. And as I say, it's best to apply for DSA as soon as possible so that it's all in place for the start of the year. Anne and Nikki are also here for you throughout your studies and are always happy to help you access any other relevant support that's available across the university. Sorry, I think I muted by accident then again. So with regard to the type of support available through disability, obviously this will depend on you, your condition and what you need. So the support, like each of you, is unique and tailored specifically to each individual. Having said that, we also like to think we have a whole university approach where a combination of inclusive teaching, supportive staff and funded support all come together to support you in your studies. Your academic staff will be there to work with you throughout your time at Marge On in many different ways, and you'll have your own personal development tutor who you can liaise with regularly, as well as module leaders. Lectures are usually recorded using a lecture capture system and made available on the online learning space module area. So what you can expect from Marge On is support and advice to help you obtain DSA where relevant, help to get any recommended one-to-one support in place for you. And for anyone with mental health conditions, autism, anyone with ASCs, this may include specialist mentoring to support your mental well-being, or specialist study skills support, or both. And as I say, we will guide you through this whole process to get the correct support in place. It can sometimes be a bit confusing at first, but Anne and Nikki will be there to help you all the way through. They'll also talk you through strategies which may help you achieve assessments and assignments set on the programme, including ensuring any recommended exam arrangements are in place. And there may be a time when we'll also work with you and your teaching staff to agree an alternative assessment if the planned method for that assignment might put you at a disadvantage. We can also ensure that you are linked in with a dedicated member of staff in the library should you need assistance there. And as part of your DSA, you may be awarded funding for equipment, as I mentioned earlier. This may also involve software and training, and it could, for instance, be a contribution towards a laptop if you don't have one, or a particular often recommended software application such as an audio note taker as part of the DSA award for those who may be anxious in lectures and who consequently find it hard to take notes. So as I say, please contact Anne and Nikki as soon as possible. I think I may have said that enough now. As I said, there are two kinds of one-to-one support offered and funded through the DSA, specialist skills tutoring and specialist mentoring. I'm just going to talk briefly now about how specialist skills tutoring sessions work, and then Sarah, my colleague, is going to run through what the specialist mentoring sessions cover. So, specialist skills tutoring. Practically, there are some crossovers between the two types of sessions, mentoring and study skills tutoring, simply because poor study skills can affect pre-existing mental health issues, such as anxiety, for example, and conditions like depression can affect our ability to properly engage with our studies. Nevertheless, DSA view each of these offerings separately, which is why they must be considered and applied for separately. And again, Anne and Nikki will help to make sure you understand the difference and apply for them as appropriate. Both the one-to-one support sessions are entirely confidential, so you can feel completely free to express yourself however you wish. Your tutor or mentor is on your side, so to speak, and is not there to judge you or give you instructions or more work to do. We're very friendly, and each session should be an enjoyable and friendly experience. Study skills tutoring is for students with academic related conditions such as dyslexia and dyspraxia, and it involves helping you with all aspects of academic work and what is required by your tutors and the university from an academic point of view. In practical terms, this usually includes support around your written assignments and is quite wide-ranging, so it might involve working with you to forward plan your time, motivation techniques and schedules of work, along with specific help with grammar, referencing correctly, academic writing, appropriate vocabulary, and writing in the abstract or third person. There are many other tips and techniques that study skills tutors may discuss with you, depending on any barriers you might face. So please do ask at the end if I haven't touched on something you're concerned about. But now Sarah is going to take over and talk about specialist mentoring. Sarah.
Thank you, Howard. Hello, my name is Sarah Houghton, and I'm one of 4 fully qualified specialist learning mentors at Marjon. They are Howard, Sarah, myself, Tori and Amanda. We all are professionally accredited and we all belong to various bodies. We also have to undergo annual training in autism, ASC and mental health. As Howard said, we are a dedicated confidential service, and that's really important that you're aware of that. The only times we'll break confidentiality is with your permission. Usually in one of my first sessions, I'm usually asked, what does a mentor do? Or why have I been given you by DSA? Most students at some time in their university career will have problems with motivation, procrastination, anxiety. These are all very common things. However, when you have a mental health condition and or physical disability, these seemingly insignificant things can grow like mushrooms in your head and become very, very big things. So your mentor is there to work with you, to give you the tools and the strategies to overcome any learning barrier. So if you have issues with time, we can give you time management strategies. Not just one, we will keep on going until we find the one that suits you. If you have issues with motivation, we can do exactly the same. With any barrier to learning, your mentor is there on your side to support you. This is your support, and it works best if you work with your mentor. And then hopefully your mentor can give you tools and skills that you can take on into employment. As I've mentioned, confidentiality, we also all the mentors are part of the wellbeing team. And we are also on the mental health welfare team as well. So we run events throughout the year. We like to work embedded within the university, and we can help advocate and access to your lecturers, your tutors and your PDTs. Each student is given a PDT. They are your personal development tutor and are there to help you academically. We also signpost. I always think of a signpost when I say this. Marjon is a small university, but we like to think of our smallness as our greatness. And within that university, we offer a lot of support and help that the mentor can signpost you to. However, it's also important to remember that there is lots of external services, all of which we can give you the resources, abilities, emails. We will help you access them. I think it's really important to mention as well in these current times that even though COVID, that dreaded word, and Corona have meant that we are all now working remotely, mentors have always worked remote if that is better for the student. If the student's anxiety or physical health is such that they cannot come in that day, we are all trained up to work remotely and will offer that even when the campus is open as normal, which will be soon, hopefully. Talking about the campus, what can you expect when you come to Marjon? Well, we are, as I said, we're small, but we see that as great. We are friendly and welcoming. Student Union encourage many student societies of a rich and varied amount, from badminton to Geek Squad, from tennis to lacrosse, sporting, arts, crafts. You're also encouraged to set up your own society. We have a mature student society as well, because we recognise that students come in all shapes and forms and ages and from all different backgrounds. Indeed, we encourage diversity. We like to think we're a safe university. Yes, I think a lot of students do come for the social life, obviously to your degree as well, but your social life as well. But there are times when you need to get away. We're very near some lovely woods. We've got rooms. We've got a nap room, which I can personally recommend, and the chapel. The chapel, yes, it does have religious connotations, obviously, but there's a room in there called the Marshall Room where you can have free tea, coffee, sit down, a chat, and relax. We have two resident life coordinators in Matt and Sophie. They live on campus and support students on campus. And we also have our RSAs, resident student assistants. There's one in each hall of residence. So we like to think we've provided as much support for those students who are first away from home and on campus for the first time. But we don't forget our local students, and we would encourage you to take as much or as little part in university life as you want. Obviously, I did mention the degree in all of this, and you can have bookable study spaces where there are quiet tables, there are pods, and on the second floor of the library is a study area where you can drag along your study buddy and crisps and snack and work until the wee small hours. We like to think of ourselves as a friendly university. We know the students' names and we are involved with them. We like to think of ourselves in student support as an incredibly accessible service for you all. I hope this presentation will make you realise that in coming to Marjon, you can have a really full rounded student experience that will be tailored to your needs. So with that, I would like to ask if there are any questions.
Thank you, Sarah. That's been really good to hear. We don't have any questions in the live event Q&A at the moment, so if anybody's got a question and they're watching thinking, oh, I'm not sure, the chances are somebody else might be thinking the same thing, so please do pop that in there and we can definitely answer the questions for you. I wonder if this might be a good time to come over to our student ambassadors, and if it's okay, I'm going to come over to Alexandra first and just to ask you a bit about your experiences of the drop-ins.
Sure. So I think for me, I didn't live on campus in my first year. I commuted, so often it was a bit of a concern thinking, okay, this has cropped up and that has cropped up. I've got both of them to sort out, and I'm at university for a very short space of time, a few hours. How am I going to get this sorted out? But thankfully, student support offered regular drop-ins that's scheduled throughout the week, and I've just found that a really accessible, reassuring service to have, because often it's those little niggles I find that maybe aren't to do with your studies that you want to get sorted, and when you've sorted those you can then think, okay, great, I know where I'm going forward with that, and now I can focus back on my studies. And also the whole sort of nature of the drop-ins is very relaxed and really open. You just go and you sit down, and you're sort of not made to feel that, okay, I'm waiting to be called for an appointment. Whoever's going to come and see you from student support, they come out, they introduce themselves and they greet you, and it's just that experience of making it, you know, a lot more informal that has been really great.
That's brilliant. Thanks, Alexandra. We have just had a question that's come into the live event Q&A. So Sarah or Howard, if you'd like to answer this one, do we need to apply for specialist mentoring in advance?
I'll take that one. Hi, it's Sarah here. You can do, yes. As Howard said, you can use your DSA. You can apply for your DSA at any point. Even if you apply now and decide to defer your uni place, we would always encourage people to apply as soon as possible. However, obviously, if you know you've got a condition and you know you're going to need support, apply now. However, if while you're at university, you know, you're growing as a person, you're growing as a student, and it's not always easy, and issues might come across, you know, you might come across certain issues. So when you're at university, you can also apply for interim or specialist mentoring, either through wellbeing or through DSA.
That's great. Thank you, Sarah. Hopefully that's answered your question for you. So I'm going to come over to our other student ambassador who's with us today, Laura. I'm just wondering if you can tell us a bit about your experiences of student support.
So far through my time at uni, I haven't had direct involvement myself with the support team, but I have through friends. So a friend of mine attends sessions, and when she wants to, and if it suits her, I go along with her, or I don't if she doesn't want me there, kind of thing. But it's definitely, as Sarah and Howard have both said, a situation where the whole experience is tailored to you. So if it's helpful for you to have someone come with you, then of course they'll accommodate that and they'll adapt to that. But if you'd rather just you and your mentor, then of course that's absolutely fine as well. But it really is on your terms, and they'll give you the ability and the skills as well to decide and find out what your best way is as well.
That's great, thank you. We've got another question now that's just come into the chat, so I'm going to come back to Sarah and Howard. So somebody who's interested in attending university, but they've got some concerns and worries, they want to know if it's possible to talk to us to kind of relieve their worries, I guess, in advance of applying.
Shall I do that one? We'll take turns.
I think you should do that one, yeah.
Hello, yes, it's you can certainly talk to someone, and the best way to ask to talk to someone is to just email studentsupport@marjon.ac.uk, and we'll find the right person for you to talk to. If you want to talk to Sarah or myself because you recognise us from this presentation, you're also very welcome to contact us directly. So by all means do that, and we can either have a face-to-face discussion using this medium, and we can do it as a video chat, or we can call you on the phone and have a chat with you. So either of those things will be absolutely, either of those routes will be absolutely fine to contact us. Normally emailing studentsupport@marjon.ac.uk, which was the email right at the address that we showed on the slide, will get you the correct person to talk to.
That's great, thank you, Howard. So I would like to now kind of come back again to our student ambassadors. We've talked a lot about kind of how accessible the student support team are at Marjon, so I wondered if you'd be able to kind of let us know a bit more about that. So I'm going to come over to Laura first. I think we'll swap it around this time. So over to you, Laura.
So a recent addition to the student support is their new desk. So that was a direct action of the student voice. So we said we want a way that is even more accessible than the drop-ins, so that if there's a worry or a big situation going on, that we can directly access student support even more so. So the desk was added, and there's windows in the day where there's always someone available and they can get you into contact with other members of student support as well. There is always someone there if you need them.
Brilliant, thank you, Laura. I don't know, Alexandra, if you've got anything else that you'd like to add.
Probably to add on from the remote nature of things. Obviously, things change really quickly in March for everybody, not just the students, also the staff. We all had to adapt. So I suppose the question in my mind was, is the support still going to continue and how is that going to work? And actually, it did continue and it was great, because sometimes you just need someone that's perhaps a little bit impartial from your course to talk to help work through either academic work or any worries you may have outside of that academic work. And even if it's maybe just like a half an hour telephone call, it just makes you feel like you're in touch with the university even though you're not physically there.
That's brilliant. Thanks, Alexandra. So we've not got any more questions in the chat. So just a quick reminder, if anyone has got anything else that they'd like to ask, please pop that in there. I'm going to come back to Laura now. We talked a bit about life on campus earlier and the residential support assistants. So I just wondered, Laura, if you could tell us a bit about your experiences with the RSAs.
So I was an RSA in my second year of university, and I lived in one of the halls, which was Coleridge at that time. Yeah, so my role was kind of almost like a big sister. I definitely wouldn't describe us as parents in any way. We try to avoid that. We're not there to, we don't want to know if you're going out to do your food shop, that's really good. But we more want to hear if you've got worries and concerns, or for example, if things aren't going very smoothly in your halls, if say someone's always up really late playing really loud music and you're trying to get sleep ready for your lectures the next day, that's where we want to come in and help and try and resolve that issue as a group, so that you don't have to necessarily directly speak to someone if that's not how you work best. But we also are all mentally health trained as well. So if you're struggling at all, then we're more than happy to be an ear to listen. But also, because we've been at the university slightly longer than you, we know who to direct you to, and what's the best ways to get you the help that we might not be able to offer. And that's where we really closely link in with student support, so we can match people up with the right help and the right assistance.
That's brilliant. So we've had another question in around somebody who would like to talk directly to a student at Marjon. Might you be able to explain a bit about UniBuddy?
I can, yes. Online, if you go onto the Marjon website, there's a system called UniBuddies. So you can pick a person that's studying the same course or a similar course to what you're interested in, or you could speak to me because I've been on here today. So I'd be on the speech and language therapy page, and there's a little picture of my face, and then you can pop in and chat to me, and that's directly with a student. None of your lecturers, none of the uni team see that. That's just you and like a proper student.
Okay, so we've not got any more questions. So What I'll do is I want to say thank you first of all to Sarah and Howard for your presentations today. It's been really interesting, really beneficial, and I'm pleased we were able to answer everybody's questions there as well. So thank you for your time, and thank you to Alexandra and Laura, because it's always really great to have the perspective of our students, so they can tell you kind of what Marge on Life has been like for them. So and finally, thank you all for attending. I hope you found the session to be really useful, and like I said, any further questions that you've got for us, please do contact us. We're really keen to answer them for you.